Now at 9, Kansas schools are navigating a new law requiring human development classes to include 3-minute fetal development videos. Plus, the 60th Labor Day Classic wraps up with over 200 racers competing for top prizes. And the STS Foundation is matching high school exchange students with caring host families.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
To show a video of fetal growth. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. However, it leaves it up to individual districts to decide how exactly to present the information. Ana Valdez spoke with some school districts about how they are navigating the new requirement.
The new law states that any school district offering a course or instruction that teaches human growth, human development, or human sexuality must include a presentation of a high-quality, computer-generated animation or high-definition ultrasound of at least 3 minutes long, showing fetal development. The Kansas Department of Education has mixed views on the bill. Some support it,
this is basic health, this is basic physiology.
while some board members express concerns there could be an use of artificial intelligence to create this material that could result in misleading or inaccurate content.
Can't fathom why an animation would be allowed, and I question where the line is.
Others also warned that the vagueness of the law could open the door to possible lawsuits.
Districts could find themselves in lawsuits no matter what they do, because somebody's going to say they didn't show it when they should have, and somebody else is going to say you shouldn't have shown it in that case, or you should have done something else along those lines.
Even though the law went into effect on July 1st, school districts in Kansas are still working to implement the required materials in classrooms. Wichita Public Schools said they are creating their own video, while Mulvane Public Schools said they are working with staff to comply with the new law. The law also does not specify which grade levels are appropriate or offer clear policy guidance, leaving many districts in limbo.
So you have now truly left 286 school districts to have to come up with 286 policies, procedures, curriculum, video, and it just opens up a wide variety of interpretation that's going to play out.
Well, let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at weather.
Well, we have had some rain most of the day today. Light showers to moderate showers. You can see out in the Joplin area, we got about a ½ an inch, just shy of that. A lot more rain along our western counties. Parsons got a ½ an inch out there near Veneta, almost 3 inches of rain. Now we are still seeing a few showers out there in Oklahoma and Arkansas. Most of us are going to be dry for right now though. Most of these showers in Arkansas on their way out. Jay, Grove, Veneta, and close to Miami getting a few more showers as we head through the rest of the evening. Most of this is going to die down by the overnight hours, but we will see storms revamp as we head into Monday. 6 a.m. still seeing some showers all the way out in Nevada. Joplin may be getting some sprinkles by early morning, and then all of us are going to start to see showers by 8 to 9 a.m. But I'm going to have a full look at your Labor Day forecast coming up.
Lindsay, thanks. Well, the 60th Labor Day Classic hit its final day at Mocan Dragway. Over 200 racers were supposed to battle it out in 6 different categories, including 3 kids categories. Racers could have won money if they made it to the top 3, or at least that's how things should have played out today. Unfortunately, events were canceled due to rain. There is no word on if or when the races planned for today will be made up.
If you got a problem with your car, you need something, you just go right next door to your buddies or even people you don't know. They're glad to help. It's like a big family out here. It's my other family.
You can stay up to date by following the Mocan Dragway Facebook page. Well, the STS Foundation is a nonprofit that matches host families with exchange students since the nonprofit started in 1986. Over 1,500 students have been matched in Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Officials from the foundation say a loving host family can impact a foreign high school student's life forever.
Our students with STS Foundation are J1 visa students who are here for 5 to 10 months. So they can study abroad for a semester or for a school year. And they do have to attend school while they're here, and they stay with American families as well. And host families provide them with a first-hand look at life in the USA.
For more information about host families or host family requirements, visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Some people in St. Louis are still cleaning up from a tornado that moved through the area months ago. Many have relied on FEMA to get much of the help they needed. Now the chance to apply for that aid has ended after FEMA rejected the city's request to extend the deadline. Caroline Hecker reports on those who are struggling and succeeding after the devastating tornado.
Here in many parts of North St. Louis, time stands still. While a lot of the debris and bricks have been picked up from front yards and in the street, a lot of the structural damage remains, and some neighbors say they fear there's no end in sight.
And every time I drive up the street, I see the church, and it just makes you cry.
Gail Davis's family home has sat on Labadee Avenue in North City for 5 generations until May's tornado upended everything.
The tarp on the inside of there, you can see part of the sky.
The roof was ripped off and the home uninsured, so she applied for FEMA assistance.
They just denying us, denying this. No, we can't help you with that. Well, you call this number 211. Maybe they can put you in this place, and 211 can't help you either. So you're back to square one. Like I said in the beginning, just going around in a circle.
She says because her sister owns the home but didn't live there at the time of the storm, their application was denied. Now she spends her day watching the family home, but it's taking its toll.
Depression is kicking in.
It actually took them like 2 weeks.
Over in O'Fallon Park, James and Veronica Tate have begun restoring their home, thanks in part to FEMA.
It felt awesome. It felt like, hey, we're coming back. It's a change. We can move forward now.
The couple bought the house for their daughter and her family, who will soon return home from a military deployment.
Oh my God, I couldn't be happier.
A $13,000 check from FEMA helped to repair the home's back wall, destroyed during the tornado.
FEMA has been great. Now we had to come out of our pocket with monies, but FEMA has opened the door of opportunity for us.
The couple spent $15,000 of their own money to replace the roof. Now work can begin on the inside.
And just hope for the best and wait and see, but not wait and sit and not do anything. You have to get up and work every day. You have to be diligent if you want to complete your goal.
That goal, to stay in the neighborhood they call home.
We've been definitely saving them, even the broke ones.
And inspire others to do the same. Veronica Tate says part of the personal sacrifice involved in getting these repairs done means she's gone without things like new hair, nails, even eyelashes, so she can make sure every month she and her husband have the money they need to continue with the restoration.
Still ahead, it's one of the most common cancers among men, but often has no early symptoms. A simple test could save lives. Coming up next. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, according to the American Cancer Society. But experts say many Americans aren't aware of the symptoms, and those warning signs often come when the disease is in later stages and it's harder to treat. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to a medical oncologist about early detection of prostate cancer, even when there are no symptoms.
It's one of the most common cancers among U.S. men, but if caught early, prostate cancer is highly treatable.
If somebody is diagnosed with prostate cancer when it's still confined to the prostate, then the chances of you being alive at 5 years is 100% from prostate cancer.
Dr. Edmund Fullefak with The Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center says later stage symptoms of the disease may include frequent urination, trouble emptying the bladder, blood in the urine, pelvic pain, and sexual dysfunction.
Thankfully, a majority of the prostate cancer here in the U.S. are picked up when they don't have any, when patients don't have any symptoms through screening.
Since there are often no symptoms in early stages of the disease, Full Effect says those at high risk should talk to their doctor about being screened. That includes anyone with a family history of prostate cancer, people with medical conditions that may make the disease hard to treat if it's found, and African American men who are at increased risk of not only getting the disease, but dying from it. Full Effect says the prostate-specific antigen, or PSA test, tests the blood. High levels may mean cancer, but there are also other causes like an infection. PSA levels also generally rise with age.
Your doctor can then tell you what that PSA signifies and if you would undergo further testing or not.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says the potential benefits and harms of screening, diagnosis, and treatment should be considered. The goal of prostate cancer screening is to find cancer early, but the agency also warns that treatment for this slow-growing disease may not be necessary for all men who have it, and some may have complications from the treatment. Experts agree that the decision about screening should be made by the patient alongside their doctor. New research suggests beta blockers may not benefit the vast majority of patients and may even raise the risk of death for some women. Beta blockers have been used for decades as a first-line treatment after a heart attack. One analysis focused only on women. It found those with little heart damage after their heart attack were significantly more likely to have another heart attack if they were treated with beta blockers. They were also more likely to die. That is compared to women who were not treated with the drug. Another study found no benefit in using beta blockers for any patient, male or female, whose hearts were still performing well after their heart attack. However, a separate study did find benefits for those whose hearts may be mildly damaged. Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, tariffs are hitting small businesses hard, including one owned by a Nebraska lawmaker, how new trade rules are changing what ends up on store shelves.
It was another rainy, dreary day here in the 4 states, and we can go ahead and take a look at our current radar. We do have a few showers still lingering, especially out there in northeast Oklahoma and northern Arkansas. Now we're going to continue to zoom in a little bit. We've got showers out there near Veneta, Grove, Jay, Siloam Springs, and moving out of the Bentonville area. So you can see temperatures were much cooler because of all of our rain and overcast skies. We're in the upper 60s now as we're heading into the evening. Stockton still in the low 70s. So if you're out there celebrating the holiday weekend, it's going to be a decent night tonight. Temperatures were a good 1 to 10 degrees cooler across the 4 states than we were this time yesterday. Now again, we can thank our overcast skies and our showers for those cooler temperatures. And you can see mostly dry by now in the Joplin area. Taking a look downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Mostly going to stay dry tonight, but showers do start to pick right back up as we head into Monday morning. So here we are about 2 to 3 a.m. Might still see a few showers right along our Kansas and Missouri border, but for the most part, we're going to be dry with cloudy skies until 6 a.m. Light showers and even maybe a drizzle is going to start to pop up in the Joplin area, Nevada getting some light showers and a bit of a mist. These just really explode across the region by 8 to 9 a.m. Now again, these are going to be very light showers, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of rain per hour of accumulation. So not seeing a lot going on here. North of Joplin, that's a little Webb City, Carl Junction area, might be getting about 1/4 of an inch per hour. Not seeing a lot going on until later in the day, in the morning. Some areas are going to see those higher chances of rain, but for the most part, all these light shades of green are going to be very light showers to maybe even just a mist or sprinkles. We are starting to see some clouds clearing a bit by early Monday afternoon. You can see the Joplin area is back to being clear. We are getting some hit and miss showers out in southeastern Kansas and Oklahoma. But a lot of us are going to see a chance south of I-44 in Missouri. They don't get a lot of chance to see those clearer skies, but they do have some clear skies and no rain out there. No, in Oklahoma, clear as well. This is about 4:30, but Got a line of thunderstorms that are going to be pushing into our western counties. This is going to be southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma. They don't live long, but we are getting those pop-up storm chances that continue into the overnight hours into Tuesday and Tuesday morning. Now, travel impacts for Labor Day. We are still seeing those isolated storms and just mist and sprinkles all day long, so you could get those slick road conditions, and with some of the heavier rain, just low visibility at times. So you want to be on the watch for that, especially with a lot of people traveling back into town, or even trying to make it out of town for one day before we hit Tuesday, go back to work. Now, temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s by Tuesday because of our front that is passing. Could still see a couple of showers lingering into Tuesday morning. For the most part, will be partly cloudy, and then we have a few sunny days, a couple stormy nights that we're going to want to pay attention to this week.
All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate it. Coming up, faith leaders in Chicago say the city is not a war zone, and they're pushing back against President Trump's threat to send in the National Guard. Small businesses face new challenges as Trump ends centuries-old import exemption, forcing tariffs on goods under $800, while countries halt U.S. shipments. Jill Lampkins reports.
Of course, Japanese stationery is so famous for being so cute and unique, and that's going to have a 15% tariff. Staplers, scissors, tape dispensers, clips, lots of that stuff comes from Italy.
In Benson, State Senator Megan Hunt owns and operates a stationery store called Shop 59.
Before I was elected and after I was elected, I'm a shop girl. That's who I am first and foremost.
Tariffs have begun to hit her small business, and now some countries aren't even shipping to the U.S. at all.
I got yesterday an email from one of my suppliers in Japan saying, we have your order, it's paid for, we're packing it up, but our shippers aren't going to send it to the U.S. So they told me, we can either refund you or you can wait, and I chose to wait because I want this stuff for holiday.
Japan is just one of a number of countries halting shipments to the U.S. in response to President Trump ending the de minimis exemption. What does that mean? Consumers and businesses will no longer be able to import goods up to $800 without being taxed, something that's been in effect for nearly a century. While the impact differs from business to business, Nancy Kavich, owner of RSVP, says even though most of her product comes from the U.S., she's trying to stay ahead of things.
I do carry some Italian papers, and so I did try to make sure I ordered those ahead of time before the tariffs kicked in.
For Hunt,
right now we're just sort of eating it, honestly. The margin is slimmer, we're doing more with less, but that also reflects the experience of a lot of Americans right now.
Well, Friday, a federal appeals court ruled President Donald Trump unlawfully leaned on emergency powers to impose sweeping tariffs. In its majority opinion, the court upheld a lower court ruling against the tariffs. The judges found Congress did not give the president wide-ranging authority to impose tariffs when it passed the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The tariffs will remain in place for now since the court delayed implementation of its order until October. That gives the Trump administration time to file an appeal with the Supreme Court. The case was heard by the full bench of the Federal Circuit. 7 judges ruled against Trump, 4 dissented. A major Verizon service outage across the country has been resolved. At least 22,000 outages were reported yesterday on the distribution tracker website. Down Detector, most users who lost service saw their iPhones display an SOS or SOS only message at the top of their screen. The cities most affected include New York City, Boston, Tampa, Miami, and Chicago. The San Francisco Chronicle reported that Verizon said the outage was due to a software issue. Up next, Princess Diana's time capsule opened decades earlier than planned, and what workers found inside after a hospital renovation. Sunday today marks the 28th anniversary of Princess Diana's death. 6 years earlier in 1991, the princess left a time capsule in the walls of a hospital in London. That hospital is now undergoing renovations, and workers have to tear down the wall where Diana placed the time capsule. So officials decided to open it. Back then, 2 children who won a contest on a TV show actually picked the items for the time capsule. Some of the items include a solar-powered calculator, British coins, a sheet of recycled paper, a European passport, and a pocket television. A picture of Diana was also placed in the capsule. The Times reports the box had suffered some water damage, but the items were mostly intact. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, the Trump administration is planning to deport more than 600 Guatemalan children in U.S. custody, and why advocates are calling it unprecedented.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
A coalition of community and clergy leaders held a rally in downtown Chicago at the Federal Plaza to demand that President Donald Trump keep the National Guard out of the city amid Trump's threats to send the National Guard to the city. Sherelle Hubbard has details.
This was the scene Friday in Chicago's Federal Plaza, a coalition of faith leaders with a rallying cry. They delivered a letter to the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois, demanding that the National Guard be kept away.
We stand not in hatred, but in holy resistance.
We got to bring our country back.
This comes after President Donald Trump has signaled that he intends to expand the U.S. military's role in domestic law enforcement activities across the country and threatened to send the National Guard to Chicago next.
As you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now.
Trump claims that crime is up in Chicago despite city statistics showing that violent crime is down.
We declare that Chicago is not a war zone.
One faith leader fearing that military intervention could have a negative impact on communities of color.
They are war machinery designed to occupy hostile territory, not serve and protect our communities.
And pointing at a lack of proper training amongst Guard members.
They're trained to neutralize enemy combatants, not de-escalate domestic disputes.
The DHS said in a statement that President Trump's goal is to make city streets safe and deport, quote, criminal illegal aliens. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says he hasn't heard from Trump officials on immigration enforcement plans and said the administration is, quote, looking to invade the city of Chicago.
We don't welcome troops to the city of Chicago. We do not welcome troops to the state of Illinois.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Sources from the Department of Homeland Security told CBS News Thursday that the Trump administration has drawn up plans to launch major immigration enforcement operations in Chicago as soon as next Friday. Those operations could include armored trucks and armed federal agents as they carry out immigration arrests. Hundreds of Guatemalan children in U.S. custody may soon be sent back to their home country under a new Trump policy. Critics and immigration advocates warn the move puts vulnerable children in greater danger. Priscilla Alvarez has more on this report.
The Trump administration is planning to send back hundreds of Guatemalan children in U.S. government to their country of origin. What sources have described to me as an unprecedented move. Now, the children that we're talking about here are those who arrived to the United States unaccompanied, meaning that they, for example, arrived to the U.S. southern border without a parent or legal guardian. When that happens, they are put in the care of the Health and Human Services Department. And while they're in care, officials work to place them with U.S.-based family members while those children go through their immigration proceedings and an immigration judge determines whether they are afforded special protections in the United States. What this program does, however, according to the sources I've talked to, is send back more than 600 children who have been identified to their country of origin, in this case, Guatemala. Now, according to sources, these children are believed to not have a parent in the United States, though they may have another family member. They do have family in Guatemala. Now, this has raised alarm among advocates who work with these children because they say that the United States law does provide special protections for these children and that the process does need to run its course. By plucking them out of government custody, they may not get protections that they might otherwise be afforded. They also note that in some cases, children are fleeing conditions at home. For example, with their parents or because their parents can't keep them safe from worsening conditions at home. So there are multiple factors that play into this, which is stirring concern. Now, in some cases, there are children who do choose to voluntarily depart the United States, but even in those cases, immigration judges are involved to help a child understand what decision they are making to leave the United States. Now, the administration did not respond to requests for comment. The Senator Ron Wyden has been asking the administration to immediately cease the program, citing whistleblower accounts. But for now, the sources I've spoken with say that the plan is full steam ahead, a plan that, again, has not been done before.
Well, a little later, a World War II veteran celebrates his 100th birthday by jumping out of a plane, proving adventure has no age limit.
It has been a pretty rainy weekend this weekend. As we head into Labor Day, the rain is not going anywhere anytime soon. So let's go ahead and take a look at our current radar. Right now, we do still have a few showers going on in our southern counties out there in northeast Oklahoma. Most of the rain in Arkansas has moved out of the area, but you can see still a few lingering showers out there, moving out of Jay, moving into Arkansas, Grove, Veneta, moving into Miami as well. Now, a few more showers are going to be moving through later on tonight and into early Monday morning. These showers also have dropped our temperatures quite a bit, so we're in the upper 60s now, low 70s still in some areas. You can see Stockton area about 71, Carthage 70, Joplin about 69, Pittsburgh 67. So we're in the upper 60s, low 70s right now. We're going to continue to drop down to low 60s. Now you can see we are about a degree to even 10 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday, especially out there in the Arkansas area, but that's where the showers are still ongoing. So the rain has definitely cooled us down quite a bit. Now we are dealing with overcast skies for most of the night tonight. You can see Joplin, downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex has mostly dried out. Showers still to come as we head through Monday, so you're not quite out of the woods yet. These overcast skies at night, though, will keep us a bit warmer tonight. So as we head through Monday morning, it's not going to be as chilly when you start your day, but a little muggy, a little humid and warmer. Now, showers do start to take off by about 8 to 9 a.m. We're looking at mostly just some sprinkles to maybe 1/10 of an inch of accumulation per hour. Now some areas you can see the darker green and even getting into the yellow. We're going to see more 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of rain accumulation, only getting to about moderate rain throughout the day. Now here we are at 11 a.m. north of Nevada out near the Butler area, and then as you can see moving out towards Stockton region, going to see a lot more of that heavier rainfall, but it all starts to die down by early afternoon. So we do have a chance to dry out for the afternoon on Monday, but still seeing a lot of cloud coverage. So we're going to switch to partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. And then our second wind comes in. So we get another round of heavy storms out there in southeastern Kansas. It's going to be moving in after about 4 p.m. Not making it into the Missouri side, but you can see Missouri still getting some random showers there. But out there in our western counties, Yates Center all the way to Chanute, Parsons, even down to Independence as well. Going to see some heavy rain and isolated storms that last all the way until Tuesday. Now, with travel impacts driving on Labor Day, you could get some isolated storms that lead to slick road conditions, and with any of the heavier storms, you could see low visibility for a time. So you want to watch out for that as you're on the road on Labor Day. Things do clear out by Tuesday. We're back to partly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s. Another front comes through Wednesday night. That's going to drop temperatures again on Thursday, but you can see we warm back up for the weekend.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up, we'll take a second look at Missouri Southern's season opening win. Plus, the Royals and Cardinals look to close out the weekend with wins. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next in sports.
In Major League Baseball, the Royals and Cardinals look to close out the weekend with wins. Kansas City looks to clinch the series over the Tigers. Second inning, Royals have runners on the corners, 2 outs. Tyler Tolbert lines one to right into the glove of Kerry Carpenter. So we head to the 5th, still scoreless. Detroit now with runners on the corners. Jake Rogers flies one to dead center. Tolbert can't get there, and both runners score. Rogers goes into 3rd with a triple. Waka has a chance to get out of it with no more damage, but Keith has other plans. He lasers one into the gap and right. Next batter, Gleyber Torres grounds one past the diving Michael Massey as Detroit scores 4 runs in the 5th. Kansas City can't score a single run off of Tarek Skubal as the Royals drop the rubber match 5-0. The Cardinals look for a sweep of the Reds. First inning, St. Louis with runners on the corners. Nolan Gorman skies one to left. Lars Nootbaar is tagging up, and he's coming home, and he scores to put the Redbirds on the scoreboard. Next batter, Thomas Sajaci flips one into right field. Ivan Herrera's coming around third. He scores as well. And the Cardinals take the 2-0 lead. St. Louis scores 3. The Reds score 3 unanswered runs, but St. Louis has a man on third with no outs. Herrera flies one fairly deep to right. Nootbaar's coming home. It's a great throw, but he's called out. Hold on a second. St. Louis challenges, and on second look, Nootbaar gets his foot in there, and the Redbirds tie it up. But in the 5th, with a man on second, Austin Hayes launches one into the bleachers for the Reds. Matt McClain adds another home run for Cincinnati in the 8th, and the Cardinals fall to the Reds 7-4 in the series finale. Last night, Missouri Southern football won its first season opener since 2013. Let's take another look at the Lions' win over Midwestern State. We've been waiting all summer long to find out who the Lions would suit up at starting quarterback, and the answer is a little surprising. True freshman Tillman Martin is Southern's QB1 for Week 1, and he did not disappoint. In his very first game action, Martin led the Lions on a 14-play, 78-yard touchdown drive. He didn't slow down from there. In the second quarter, Martin would throw his first collegiate touchdown to give Southern the lead. He finished the day completing 17 out of 22 passes with 164 yards and a touchdown. You can't talk about the Lion offense without mentioning the rushing attack. As a unit, MSSU rushed for nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nathan Glades led the bunch with 93 yards and 2 scores. It was an overall impressive performance from Missouri Southern. Now the Lions have their sights set on the Southwest Baptist Bearcats, who they play this Saturday.
Love to see good success from our Lions team, but I've got a question for you. It's Week 1. We are Week 1 NFL. We are 4 days away from NFL. The Chiefs play Monday. What are your expectations for that game?
I believe they play the Chargers. That'll be a fun divisional matchup. I think Kansas City is coming off their last game was a Super Bowl, really disappointing performance for them. I think they're going to be hungry to win. They look pretty good in their last preseason game.
Absolutely.
So I think the Chiefs are going to be pretty determined to win that one.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. You would think a 100-year-old World War II veteran would be slowing down, but not Jimmy Hernandez. He's speeding up. Kayla Moeller spoke with Hernandez, who went skydiving to celebrate his big birthday.
I'm glad that somebody showed up.
Family and friends of 100-year-old Jimmy Hernandez gathered in Davis Friday in anticipation to watch him fall out of the sky.
I said, okay, honey, when I turn 100, are you going to let me do that?
His 91-year-old wife with a front row seat.
What are you going to say to him when he gets on the ground?
I love you. Stay with me.
Jimmy's son and grandson also joining him on his journey back down to Earth. 3 generations of skydivers to celebrate the big day.
Happy birthday to you. I know that I'm 100, but I don't feel that way.
He's a dynamo. He's unstoppable. He's still driving. I can't tell you how many times I go over to his house and he's climbing on the roof, or, he's a force.
Former neighbors of Jimmy's drove in from out of town to support his dream.
He's been talking about doing this for years. Might not be his last jump.
Yeah, yeah.
He might have found a new hobby, knowing Jimmy.
I couldn't even see you, but I was looking at the whole thing, how far we are, and and the lakes and all that stuff that you don't get to see it in your lifetime.
Jimmy tells me he wasn't scared up there, but is glad it's over with. And his secret to living to 100 is a shot of tequila a day. But they wouldn't let him have one pre-flight.
I would like to have one. I've done it for 20 years at 5 o'clock, close to 5, sometimes half a shot, you know. But I'm medication.
Up next, Belinda Carlisle puts her own spin on classic hits in her new album, paying tribute to the songs that inspired her as a young California girl. The Go-Go singer Belinda Carlisle has a new solo album out now. Rick Damigella talked with Carlisle about Once Upon a Time in California.
Love is but a song to sing, and feels the way we die.
That's Belinda Carlisle's take on the Youngbloods' Get Together.
Come on, people now, smile at each other, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now.
The track comes from Carlisle's new album, Once Upon a Time in California, which has a distinct inspiration.
This album are the songs that I listened to when I was a young girl, growing up in Southern California, when California radio was really special, and they were the songs that inspired me to want to be a singer.
Other artists represented through Carlisle's voice include Gordon Lightfoot, The Carpenters, and Harry Nilsson.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do.
But the thing is, I wanted to keep the integrity of the song, but make it my own.
Covering the Hollies' The Air That I Breathe was a standout moment for the singer.
I kept hearing like something anthemic, and which goes back to a lot of my earlier material, which is very anthemic actually. So that's the approach we took on it, and it was probably my favorite song to sing on the album.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
That's been our time for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoy your Labor Day. Have a great night.